I never killed anybody that didn't deserve it.
5 long years he wore this watch. This watch. In one place he knew he could hide something. This watch was your birthright. I could have used a little more cowbell. You'd be dead. 5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass. I gotta have more cowbell. This watch. You'd be dead. 5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass. His ass.
Your son. Your son, the cowboy. Your son that snatched my narcotics. Your son that whore hightailed it out of there. Your son. That ain't any kind of fun.
No. I just say whatever I want.
Those guys are dead.
I just say whatever I want.
I want monkeys.
And people seem to enjoy it.
Monkeys.
I free associate. I make up the skits and bits right there.
Intuitive improvisation.
I just say whatever I want.
Intuitive improvisation. It's the secret of genius.
I just say whatever I want. And people seem to enjoy it.
You tell them what I said.
Whoa! This watch was your birthright.
No.
This watch up his ass. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
I want you to know what it's like to live that way.
5 long years he wore this watch. This watch.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
This watch.
You're clear with me. You understand?
His ass.
From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. I want in.
It's my turn. One time. Ad-libs, improv. I free associate. I make up the skits and bits right there.
You're clear with me. You understand?
I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
Pretty can't run, ain't you?
Now, little man,
Never come back again.
I give the watch to you.
Gone again?
No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. I want in.
Never come back again. Rest and sleep. Never come back again.
It's my turn. I put my pants on, just like the rest of you, one leg at a time. Up his ass. Except, once my pants are on, I make gold records. Up his ass. His ass. His watch.
I want monkeys.
His watch.
The Antichrist.
Monkeys. His watch was your birthright.
I want monkeys.
You'd be damned.
Monkeys.
His ass. I could have used a little more cowbell. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. I just say whatever I want. I just say whatever I want. And people seem to enjoy it.
Your son. Okay, but he is. Your son. Okay, but he is. Tell the angels in heaven you've never seen evil so singularly personified as you did in the face of the man who killed you. Your son. Your son.
Intuitive improvisation. It's the secret of genius.
Your son.
His ass. No. I could have used a little more cowbell. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. You'd be damned.
You may be public enemy number one.
Just son. Your son.
I free associate. I make up the skits and bits right there. Ad libs, improv.
Fucks you all up. Fucks you all up. Fucks you, fucks, 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 fucks,
It's Miller time.
Hello. How is everybody tonight? Let's see. Am I coming through loud and clear? Am I coming through? Yes, I am coming through loud and clear. Hello. Happy Sunday night. Hope everybody's having a good Memorial Day weekend. How is everybody tonight? Cheers to everybody who's decided to spend their Sunday night with me. I appreciate it. We're going to be taking a look at the Rolling Stones list of 35 greatest horror soundtracks here momentarily. So let's see who's with me here first. We've got Darren Hackney, we've got Gustavo, we've got RJ Skarinki, Alex Bacon, Hymns Are Beautiful, Usu, DJ, Boogie Manny, Ben Grimm. Looks like you've been having a good time at Texas Frightmare, Ben. That's awesome. Jason Werner, Captain Halloween, my buddy Keith, how you doing? CJM. Zach Budner, Nick J, Steve Mayers. How's it going, Steve? Geriatric Geek, what's up, Bill? Horn Dog, Dream Emulator. How you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well. Bog Zombie, hello. Scratch Burno. There's Future Dead Camper. There's Dave. Redbeard, how you doing tonight, sir? Sasha, hello. So I thought we'd maybe do some unboxings before we dive into
Sing
the...
it again for us real quick.
Summer breeze, aging to know, just oh.
Pretty?
Thank you, Nico, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that, man. Cheers, Piz and pals. Let the music and shots begin. Thank you. Appreciate that, sir. What's up, TFP? There's Jess. My name is not Earl. Lawn Furniture. Great name. Nope, I've didn't pick up anything from the most recent Vinegar Syndrome sale. Although I do have a Blade in the Dark on pre-order already. Retro Analog Entertainment. Hello, Kevin Dudley. What's up? There's Cliff Booth, movie fan. I am drinking an Amaretto Sour tonight. Cheers. So let's do a quick unboxing before we dive into tonight's festivity, shall we? I've got a package here from Fright Rags. And actually, no, I'm sorry. It's from Silver Shamrock Novelties in Santa Mira, California. Excuse me. Yeah, Silver Shamrock Novelties. I wonder what Silver Shamrock sent me. I don't know. Don't miss the big horror giveaway, it says. Oh, apparently it's some Halloween masks. What do you know? So the Silver Shamrock Novelty Company in Santa Mira, California sent me a package. And I think there might be some masks in here. I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? They package them very good. I mean, and they should. It's coming all the way from Santa Mira, California, so they should package it up nicely. So, what's up, Bronson? How you doing, sir? Oh my goodness, what have we got here? What could this be? What could this be? I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh my God. That is a witch. That is a witch mask, I mean. Let's put that right there. The next one is, oh my. Oh my. We have a skull mask. Oh. Scary. And last but not least, we have got, a pumpkin mask, or a jack-o'-lantern mask. So the boxes on these are really cool. You've got the skull, the pumpkin head, the green witch there. On the back it says, "It's almost time. Gather round. Happy, happy Halloween. Silver Shamrock." On the other side, we have "No one does Halloween like Silver Shamrock novelties, calling all witches, skeletons, and jack-o'-lanterns. Gather round." Each soft polyfoam mask is hand-painted and tagged with our official seal of approval. So you will be ready to scare the heads off your friends this Halloween. Collect all three. So yeah, these are really cool. All the boxes say the same things, but the got a green box for the pumpkin, an orange box for the skull, and a purple box for the witch. Yeah, these are pretty cool. So yeah, so these are from Fright Rags, of course, and these have been out for a little while. But recently, Fright Rags had a sale on their website, and they had these marked down pretty significantly. And so I just decided to grab all three of them. And I will find a place for them in the man cave. I may actually hang these in my bedroom. I don't know. But I thought these looked really cool. So...
Sing it again for us real quick.
Summer breeze, aging to know, just oh.
Pretty good.
Thank you, Bronson, for the $1. I appreciate that, man. So let's take one of these out of the box and have a look at them. Let's take a look at the witch, shall we? If I can get it out of here. Here we go. Let's have a look at the evil green witch. Oh, wow. I really like the colors. The colors are really nicely done. There's a lot of nice detail. Got the warts. Got her tongue sticking out through the gap in her teeth. All the wrinkles. Got some wrinkles in her hood. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And these are thick. These definitely aren't the flimsy, when I was a kid, I remember going, trick-or-treating as, I think I was Lion-O from Thundercats. And I had one of these cheap masks and like the cheap, like plastic costume. And by the time I made it back home, the costume was like in pieces. And the mask was so thin that, I mean, it was just, you know, and of course the string here always broke. So these are actually pretty good quality. Interesting. Yeah, these are pretty cool, Ben. Hey, what's up, Antonis? How you doing? No, no, they were marked down from 60. That's for sure. That's how much they were, like, brand new. All three of them, I should say. But the witch is looking good. Let's check out the skull. Oh, wow. The paint job on these, they really did a good job with the paint job. Check that out. That's beautiful. Just look at the teeth. Teeth are great. You've got like the little, there's not actual pits in the mold, but it kind of looks like there is, how they painted it. But the skull is very cool. What's up, Swaggy G? How you doing, man? So yeah, these are really nice. Please have a pizowell as Lino picture. I wish. I do wish. But yeah, the skull is really cool. Let's check out the pumpkin. The jack-o'-lantern. Oh. Here's the jack-o'-lantern or the pumpkin. They did a really good job with the orange kind of fading it. Like it's dark like in the creases. The orange is darker in the creases. And then it gets lighter here where it kind of sticks out. Then back in the crease again, it's darker. Yeah, they really did a good job painting these, I gotta say. All three of these have looked really good. Yeah. So the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, beautiful, beautiful. The witch is just gorgeous. Oh, I just love to give her a big old kiss. Look at that. And the skull. Just check out those teeth. He took good care of his teeth. That's for sure. The skull takes good care of his teeth. Those are some clean, white-looking chompers. So I'll give him that. Yeah. These are all really nice. I'm pretty impressed with the Fright Rags Halloween 3 mini masks. Really nice. Huh. And I like the fact that they're a little smaller. You know, you can put these pretty much anywhere. So, yeah, cool. The masks would fit your dog perfectly. That's what I was thinking. Like, these would fit a pet perfectly. What's up, Cotton Eye Joe? No, the Christopher Walken song that plays over my intro is actually from Jamie Blanks. He made that for me. What's up, Heath Denson? How you doing, man? Mustard is now known as tall man blood. Yeah. Pretty much anything that's yellow or a yellowish color is tall man blood to Jeremy. Whereas everything that's green is reptile blood to Jeremy. Reptile from Mortal Kombat, of course. So, if it's green, it's reptile blood. If it's yellow-ish, then it's tall man blood. Yeah. What's up, Justin Moreno? Dr. Slaughter just watched Starman. Okay, all right. People firing off fireworks there already, CJM. They're already celebrating the 4th, and it's not even June yet. The pumpkin is your favorite, Sasha? I actually think the witch is my favorite. I really like the witch. The Witch is cool. Hey, Allison, thank you. Let's see if I've missed anything here in the chat. What was for dinner tonight? Jeremy and I had Wendy's for dinner tonight. It was pretty good. Pretty yummy. If you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I would appreciate that. Let's get to a couple of other unboxings or unpackagings, actually. Both of these I'm going to do reviews of on the channel. And both of these packages come to me from abroad. So, from across the pond. So, this is from Second Sight. I think I know what's inside, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm just going to go ahead and tear it open. But I'm pretty sure I know what this release here is from Second Sight. Did Jamie Blanks ever write any soundtracks? Yeah, Jamie Blanks has wrote music for a number of movies, actually. Yeah. And the reason why I'm doing this show tonight about soundtracks is because I'm planning on doing a Sunday night stream with a couple of special guests to talk about our favorite soundtracks, hopefully in the very near future. So, but without further ado, let's see what Second Sight Films sent me all the way from the UK. Gotta love Second Sight. Second Sight has been killing it lately. Their releases have just been phenomenal. And, oh goodness gracious. Ooh. This looks like it's going to be another beauty. Picnic at Hanging Rock. Anybody a fan of Picnic at Hanging Rock? The Peter Weir film. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I do remember liking this movie a lot. That's why I wanted to pick it up. And of course, it's another one of their limited edition releases, and it looks killer. So we've got, of course, this is a 4K release, but it also comes with Blu-rays. Anybody a fan? I saw they had this, but never heard of it. Do those mini masks glow in the dark? Good question. That's a good question. Hold on. Let me see if the mini masks glow in the dark. I think it's still a little too bright in here. I can't tell. Still a little too bright in here. Well, you would think wouldn't they say on the box if they glowed in the dark? I don't know. It doesn't say. Love your collection, Pizowell. Thank you. Thank you, the master of all movies, Prestwood. I'm competing with Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton in your house tonight. Wow. Okay. Wow. I don't know if I can hold a candle to Willie and Dolly. I mean, geez. But no fans of Picnic at Hanging Rock in the chat? Picnic at Hanging Rock is a brilliant movie. I own the Criterion Collection Blu-ray. Cool. You just watched Leon the Professional 2 hours ago. Great movie. Love Leon the Professional. Love that movie. Hey, Piz, would you sleep in the Amityville house for one night by yourself and you'd have to sleep in one of the upstairs bedrooms? Absolutely, I would. Well, wait, what's in it for me? Is there money in it? Because, I mean, the whole Amityville thing was a hoax. Pretty much everybody. I thought everybody pretty much knew that at this point, but sure, I'd stay in a completely unhaunted, unpossessed house for a night. You know? So okay. So it seems like a lot of people haven't seen or heard of Picnic at Hanging Rock, so that's cool. My memory of this movie is that it is really good. So I'm looking forward to revisiting it and to diving in to all of the extras and the additional contents on this release. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, I'm going to be dropping my review of Sisu tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Anybody seen Sisu? All right, and here we have a package all the way from Australia, from the land down under. This is another piece of physical media that I will be reviewing in the near future. What's up, Christian? There's a German slasher I would love to send you. Flashback from 2000. Oh, sure. Please get in touch, Sasha. I'd definitely check it out. I would definitely like to check it out. So here we go. This is a package from the land down under. How am I going to open it here? I think it opens this way. I think. All right. Okay, so okay. Jason Werner liked Sisu. Okay, cool. Would I walk around a graveyard by myself? Of course. Graveyards are very peaceful, you know? All right. Oh, I like how they package this. Bubble mailer inside a box. I like that. Okay. Here we go. This is the imprint. Is this a 4K or a Blu-ray? Okay, this is a Blu-ray. This is the imprint Blu-ray release for The Haunting of Julia. Got that lenticular slipcase there. And this is a great movie that is just slept on because it for some reason, it just never got like an official DVD release in the US for some reason. I know there are bootlegs. I own a bootleg, and it's not a bad bootleg. But from my understanding, the only reason that this film is now on Blu-ray and 4K is because a very dedicated fan of the movie spent a small fortune tracking down the rights owners or owner and making it happen. So this person cared enough about this movie that they spent a small fortune out of their own pocket, invested a ton of time into tracking down who owned the rights to this movie, and just made it happen. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do to make Fright Night 2 a reality on Blu-ray and or 4K, and Psycho Cop for that. And Psycho Cop 2. I'm going to have to do it. You know, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself, right? So this person made it happen. They're responsible for this release from Imprint, as well as the 4K from Scream Factory. So kudos to that person. But this release includes the CD soundtrack. We get a booklet, limited edition, lenticular, hard packaging, and a lot of extras. Quite a lot of extras. So I'm looking forward to checking this out, checking this release out, all the extras, etc., etc., and I will be dropping a review in the very near future. Alrighty. I just watched Fright Night 2 the other day. Tommy Lee Wallace is the man. Wish he would have made more horror movies. Yeah, I agree. The Haunting of Julia, loved that final scene. Yes. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Really good movie. What's your favorite Stephen King movie apart from The Shining? Asks Cotton Eye Joe. Good question. Man, that. Gotta take a drink to get the brain firing. It's hard to narrow it down. I mean, there's so many, really. I mean, Carrie is awesome. The Dead Zone, I think, is just incredible. I love Christine. It, the miniseries I love, as well as It Chapter 1. I may have to just go with The Dead Zone, because The Dead Zone doesn't get a lot of love. And I think that's a great, great movie. So I'm just going to go with The Dead Zone. Thoughts on Fright Night 2011? It's not, I mean, I don't remember it, to be honest. I don't remember, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't remember very much of it, but what I do remember, I didn't particularly care for. Misery is a good one. I mean, Misery crossed my mind. Stand By Me, of course. Yeah. Let's not forget The Langoliers. I mean, that's a, brilliant film. I would throw The Night Flyer in there too. I really like The Night Flyer. And it's a shame that movie has not gotten a Blu-ray release. A real shame. If you've not dropped a like on this stream, please do so. I'd appreciate that. All right, so let's take a look at the let's take a look at Rolling Stone's list of the 35 greatest horror soundtracks. Now, Collider has a list too, but I can't deal with anything Collider. Now, I've got PTSD from that last Collider list. So, hey, what's up, Jeff? What's up, Poor Collection 13? What's up, Matthew Lee? How you doing? The Mangler, yeah, I love the Mangler too. I love the Mangler. All right, so let's take a look at this list here. Wait a minute, that's not the right thing. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, the 35 greatest horror movie soundtracks modern masters and gatekeepers choose. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at the panel of people who chose this list, because this is quite a panel. We've got Jeff Barrow of Portishead, Kevin Bergeron of Waxwork Records, Kyle Dixon, Mark Donica, Adam Jones, and Michael Stein from Stranger Things. Mike Patton of Faith No More, Mr. Bungle. He's in the mix here. We got Spencer Hickman from Death Waltz Records. Steve Moore, composer of The Guest. We've got quite an ensemble of folks here who chose this. Let me do something real quick. All right, let me pop the chat out here so I can keep track of it while I'm doing this. I know the panel kind of gives me some faith. I think this might be a good list. All right, so I got that going. Okay, here we go. Got that out. Let me keep the chat popped up here. All right, so we got a nice panel of people. The Guest soundtrack is phenomenal. Yes. Love that movie. Love the soundtrack. Love everything about it. No updates on Mutilator 2 that I'm aware of. Still looking for distribution. So here we go. Number 35 is Extro from Harry Bromley Davenport, 1983. Director Harry Bromley Davenport once described his 1983, and I've never seen Extro, by the way. I've never seen Extro. I've heard things. But Mr. Davenport described Extro as an extraordinary mess. An assessment that the film's many critics would probably view as modestly generous. Far more coherent than the film itself is its soundtrack, which was also penned and recorded by Bromley Davenport. Whether motivated by budgetary constraints and admiration for John Carpenter's soundtrack work or both, Bromley Davenport, a trained classical pianist, went the minimalist analog synth route, mixing haunting melodies with whirring electronic effects and woozy waltzes. Nice. Starting with the deep cuts. I know, I like that. Soundtrack collectors and synth freaks alike willingly fork over big bucks for copies of the original. Okay. So Extro. And again, I've not seen the movie, but I've heard things, and it's on my list. So number 35, Extro. Number 34, Zombie 2, Fabio Frizzi. Okay. So far, this list is pretty good. I'm actually wearing Zombie shirt. So this sort of sequel to the Italian release of Dawn of the Dead includes what may be the most memorable theme song from synth horror master and frequent Lucio Fulci collaborator Fabio Frizzi. I agree. I love the score for Zombie, aka Zombie 2. Great stuff. Noisy electronic gulps, goofy exotica, muffled disco, Reichian marimbas, lots of frantic drumming, and Mellotron moans that he calls Sound of the Dead. Lucio had a special relationship with music. Frizzi says in the liner notes of the Death Waltz Mondo reissue, he had a clear idea of what he wanted and a great way of walking me through it, something that every director should be able to do. He would explain to me what he wanted, telling me scene by scene how the music was going to support the picture. It was with Zombie 2 that I enjoyed a more direct and exclusive relationship with Lucio for the first time. Great stuff. Yeah. Zombie 2, aka Zombie. Incredible music. Let's go to number 33. Chud. Chud is on the list. Chud. Wow. Okay. Chud. Interesting. Composed by Martin Cooper, the keyboardist from hit-making new wave romantics Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. And David Hughes, an ex-keyboardist from the same, the Chud soundtrack teams its titular cannibalist humanoid underground dwellers with claustrophobic synth sounds that are dreamy, ominous, and occasionally a little like Art of Noise. Okay. Any Friday 7 shirts in my T-Pub? Yes. There's at least one in there. And everything in my TeePublic store is on sale right now. 35% off. The pair spent time in the early 80s cooking up synth instrumentals and soon filled Warner Brothers' need for synth soundtrack work in the post-Chariots of Fire landscape. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Chud. I did not think we'd see a mention of Chud on this list, but I'm glad that Chud made the list. I'm more of a fan of Chud too, Bud the Chud, personally. But that's just me. Number 32, Nightmare City? Oh, I'm liking this list. This is a good list. Okay, listen. This panel, they know what they're doing, okay? Nightmare City is a great freaking movie. The music doesn't quite stand out that much for me, but the movie's freaking incredible. Nothing about Umberto Lenzi's Nightmare City makes much sense. From the lack of consistent logic, its zombies run, wield weapons, and sometimes look pretty normal. They're not zombies. They're infected people. They're not zombies. To its absurd story, men and women are exposed to radiation on an airplane that comes out ready to kill. Exactly. They're not zombies. They're just people who've been exposed to radiation. To its tendency to take the scenic route towards plot, Italian composer Stelvio Cipriani, also responsible for the eerie lounge jazz of Mario Bava's Bay of Blood. Oh, Bay of Blood. That was a really fun Patreon and channel member watch party from... Was it last month we watched Bay of Blood? That was fun. Offers up a score as schizophrenic as the film, including Dracula Disco, Metropolis, Sad Boy Beach Balladry Solitude, and on highlights sustain a back and forth between coked out synths and saxophone that sounds like a Mike Post TV theme. Wow. Nightmare City. Holy crap. I'm gonna need another amaretto sour because this list is making me happy so far. Near Dark, number 31. The hits just keep on coming. Near Dark, of course, Tangerine Dream. Awesome freaking movie, and just great soundtrack from Tangerine Dream. Few synthesizer artists. I'm already drunk. I can't talk. Few synthesizer artists picked up Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells Gauntlet to reimagine the Hollywood score with the gusto of Tangerine Dream, starting with William Friedkin's Sorcerer, hitting deep stride on the 1981 soundtrack to Michael Mann's Thief, and likely best recognized for the non-Bob Seger music of Tom Cruise's debut, Risky Business. What about The Keep? Let's not forget about their score for The Keep, which is incredible. The score to this Catherine Bigelow directed teenage vampire flick, which I don't know if I'd consider Near Dark a teenage vampire flick, that had the commercial misfortune of being released in the slipstream of The Lost Boys. Inferior. F you. Near Dark is moody, digital, synth-heavy, though hardly exclusive music, a diverse set of compositions that serve the scenes while also establishing their own personalities. A good time track that sounds like an instrumental from Glenn Frey's Miami Vice period, Caleb's Blues, exists near a thorny piece of treated guitar plus sequencer film music, Rain in the Third House, and a brooding, lightly technified piece of Carpenter-like ambiance, Resurrection 1. So yeah, the great score from Tangerine Dream. Tangerine Dream is responsible for so much great music from the 80s. Thief, Sorcerer, The The Keep. Oh, yeah. Great stuff. Moving on. Hellraiser, Christopher Young. Okay. All right, so this is a good list. I'm used to bad lists. This is a good list. This is a damn good list. I'm happy. I'm happy with this list. All right, so Hellraiser. Though he'd already done the soundtracks for such 80s slashers as A Dorm That Dripped Blood, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and Trick or Treat, Christopher Young firmly established himself as a top-shelf horror composer in 1987 with his symphonic score for Clive Barker's directorial debut. Barker had originally engaged British industrial experimentalist Coyle to do the film's soundtrack, but Young stepped in when the duo's work was deemed too edgy for the film's backers. Wow, their music was too edgy. Too edgy. Wow. Loaded with sinister strings, foreboding brass, heavily echoed grand piano, and unexpected stabs of dissonance. Young's atmospheric score slowly builds in tone from darkly romantic fantasy to claustrophobic nightmare, then concludes by returning to its dreamy beginnings. I mean, I think you could make a case for the Hellraiser score to be lower on the list, but it's on the list, which is good. Cool. All right. Hellraiser at number 30. The hits just keep on coming. Here we go. Number 29. Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall? Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Though the 80s were bleeding with no-budget synth scores to B-movies, Chuck Serino's jittery, propulsive neon soundtrack to a robot-led mall massacre stands exploding head and shoulders over most. I scored Chopping Mall in the basement of Shadow Stevens DJ recording studio, says Serino in the liner notes, blah, blah, blah. At the time I was working for Shadow directing the Federated Group TV commercials. So when Jim Wynorski asked me to score Chopping Mall, I took 3 weeks off from directing and plowed forward recording robot music. Chopping Mall made the list. Wow. That's incredible. This is one of the greatest lists ever. 100% agree with Chopping Mall. Right on, man. Right on. How's it going, Ghost? Hope you're doing well. Oh, wow. Chopping Mall. I did not expect to see Chopping Mall on the list, but I am so glad. So glad that it made the list. Wow. Great movie. All right, moving along, number 28, Beyond the Black Rainbow. All right, all right. Interesting. Beyond the Black Rainbow. I don't remember very much. I don't remember very much about the movie or well, I remember the score being good, but I don't remember very much about the movie. For the sci-fi thriller, it's set in 1983, blah, blah, blah. It's a sleek, spare, and spacey affair deeply influenced by John Carpenter, Giorgio Moroder, and Tangerine Dream. I'm going to have to go back and revisit Beyond the Black Rainbow. How did Chopping Mall beat Hellraiser? Good question, but I'm just going to go with it. You too, my friend, will be back very soon, finally. It's good to hear. Good to hear, Ghost. Mandy and Let the Right One In both have excellent scores as well. I agree. One of the greatest lists ever until they put Scream above Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That's right. Yes, Panos Cosmatos directed Beyond the Black Rainbow. Yes, indeed. I believe this was his debut, as a matter of fact. I think I'm right about that. All right, Beyond the Black Rainbow, number 28. Number 27, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Somebody just threw out there The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay. Number 27, grimy outlaw country music spliced with gnarly musique concrete The score, or really the soundscape to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, sits up there with Eraserhead as a rare moment where music, sound effects, and other diegetic, what does that word even, diegetic? I've never even heard that word before. Sound become indistinguishable. Metal scrapes howl like a free jazz sax solo. Rhythmic snaps and crackles recall fevered percussion, and whirls of sound caked with effects are redolent of the dubbiest of dub reggae. Constructed by Wayne Bell and director Tobe Hooper, it is background noise turned avant-garde soundtrack, Foley work gone too far. A huge influence on bands like Animal Collective and Wolf Eyes, it's one of many expertly frightening elements that make Texas Chainsaw Massacre so singularly scary. Yeah, I love, and I think they nailed it. It's a soundscape. It's not like a soundtrack. It's a soundscape. Just the like the banging of pots and pans, and like how, you know, Hooper, like he took like a bow and just strung it across like piano strings, and they just created this crazy melange of sounds that made up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre score. So diegetic means live sound. Okay, cool. I learned something new. Occurring within the context of the story and able to be heard by the characters. Okay. I've learned something new today. Cool. So Chainsaw, number 27. Cool. Number 26, Day of the Dead. Oh, I love the Day of the Dead score. Oh, so good. Love it. Threading lithe synthesizer work around chintzy faux Caribbean vibes and steely electronica. Composer John Harris. I love how all these are written too. They're very very wordsmithy, you know. Who, by the way, played the zombie who gets a screwdriver in the ear, captures the tonal chaos of George. John Harrison played the zombie who gets a screwdriver in the ear. Wasn't that in Dawn of the Dead and not in Day of the Dead? Yeah. Day of the Dead is a movie not too interested in subtlety or tonal consistency, and Harrison's score follows. There's a sneaky nervous theme, the island vibes atop bassy gloom, and the baffling ballads of Spudsy Sparacino, which sound like Frank Stallone doing Lou Graham doing Luther Vandross. Okay. I love Day of the Dead. Depending on my mood, Day of the Dead is my favorite Romero zombie movie. I love the bleakness of it. I love the gore effects in that one are just incredible. There's Savini at the top of his game. And yeah, love Day of the Dead. Great score too. Great stuff. All right, number 25, Under the Skin. Oh, is this the Scarlett Johansson movie? Yeah, I liked Under the Skin a lot. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I liked it a lot. I don't remember very much about the soundtrack though. One of the weirder movies starring Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, you think so? Under the Skin was made by Jonathan Glazer, who in addition to feature films including Sexy Beast had directed music videos for Radiohead, Massive Attack, and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. For the soundtrack to a mood piece in which alien Johansson lures would-be Lotharios to an untimely demise, he turned to Mika Levy, mastermind of UK indie rock upstart whatever that word is, and The Shapes. Yeah, I remember liking Under the Skin a lot. I don't remember that much about the soundtrack, though. Any fans of Under the Skin in the chat? Under the Skin score is fantastic, says Griffin. Okay. The Boogeyman. The Uli Lamel movie. At 24, The Boogeyman. Wow. Pitched somewhere between Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells as used in The Exorcist and John Carpenter's score for Halloween, Tim Krog's eerie synth soundtrack for The Boogeyman lent Uli Lamel's grimy 1980 supernatural slasher flick a much-needed element of class. Recorded by Krog and the Synth Soundtracks duo using various analog synthesizers and utilizing some nifty digital delay and reverb tape effects, Krog's minimalist yet melodic score is a low-key classic. Now, I definitely did not expect to see The Boogeyman on this list. That's for sure. Any fans of The Boogeyman in the chat? Has anybody pre-ordered the Boogeyman Vinegar Syndrome release? The Booger Man. Yes, yes. Jeremy's excited for The Boogeyman this weekend, as a matter of fact. It's Jeremy's birthday weekend coming up. Not just his birthday day, but his birthday weekend. He's making a whole weekend out of his birthday. I pre-ordered the 4K of Boogeyman, never seen it, looking forward to checking it out. I don't remember very much about the Boogeyman. I know I've seen it at least a couple of times, but not within the past several years. But I really don't remember very much about it. So, all right, number 23, we've got A Clockwork Orange. Great music in A Clockwork Orange. Love the movie. I mean, Stanley Kubrick. Great stuff. Jeremy is doing it right. Birthday week celebration. Exactly. Exactly. Not just a day. Jeremy doesn't just get a day. He gets a whole weekend. He knows what he's doing. Oh, goodness. All right, so A Clockwork Orange. I mean, I think everybody's, at least if they've not seen A Clockwork Orange, you've heard of A Clockwork Orange. Great movie. Really interesting music. Great movie. All right, let's move on to number 22. The Wicker Man. Okay. The Wicker Man. Yes, yes. I can't say I'm a huge fan of The Wicker Man. Even the Nicolas Cage remake, you know, it's good for a laugh, but that's about it. I've actually not seen The Wicker Man in many years, and I don't remember that much about the music. I know there's that whole musical number, like halfway through, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I would consider A Clockwork Orange a horror movie or not. Who cares? Who cares? Well, let's just call it a horror movie. Why not? Why not? So The Wicker Man, any fans of The Wicker Man in the chat? The bees. The original Wicker Man is incredible, but I'm a folk horror kind of guy. Yeah, been a long time since I've seen it. Huge love for The Wicker Man, greatest ending ever. Yeah, good ending. Good ending. All right, let's move along here. Number 21, Exorcist II, The Heretic? Whoa, okay. All right. Exorcist II, The Heretic. I did not expect to see The Heretic on this list. Okay. Chances are you don't recall a single scene from the sequel to William Friedkin's domestic horror classic, The Exorcist. With neither Friedkin nor original writer William Peter Blatty on board, and Linda Blair reprising her role as Reagan McNeil, but refusing to don demon paint again. New director John Borman had his work cut out for him. A box office disaster that's regarded as one of the worst films of all time. Its lone saving grace is that they budgeted for Ennio Morricone. In one of his first forays into big-budget Hollywood, the maestro handed in one of his weirdest, eeriest scores. There's the Afro-Cuban tribal thunder of Pazuzu, the prog rock stomp of magic and ecstasy, as well as the ethereal voice and orchestra of Reagan's theme, Floating Sound, which Morricone would revisit nearly 40 years later for Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. The Exorcist 2 is not one of the worst films of all time. That's for sure. It's definitely not one of the worst films of all time. It's not great, but it's not one of the worst films of all time. I don't remember it's been a long time since I last saw The Heretic. But, I don't remember the score, to be honest. But it's not one of the worst movies of all time. All right, we're at number 20, Maniac. All right. Maniac, yeah. Maniac's got some great music in it. The soundtrack to William Lustig's skeezy serial killer flick sits somewhere between new age and no wave. Pleasant sounds abound. Some slick side bass on the main theme song, crestfallen flutes throughout. But they're interrupted or overpowered by blasts of noise, discordant plucks of strings, and slurping synthesizers. Hooker's heartbeat is an exponential piling of electronic fuzz, like the peak parts of the Stranger Things theme looped over and over and over. Chilling, desperate music that scalp-collecting antagonist Frank Zito could love. Great soundtrack for Maniac, of course. Classic movie, Joe Spinell, just one of a kind. One of a kind. Great movie in Maniac. Actually, where's my Maniac cap? Hold on. Let's show some love for Maniac here. May say. Show some love for Maniac. I did not see the Maniac video for Ariel Pink's lipstick. No, I did not. I'm obsessed, collect physical movies. Okay, cool. You still haven't seen Maniac, Sean. You need to take some time out to watch Maniac. You definitely should. All right, we're in the top 20 now. Number 19. Another movie called Maniac. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. The Maniac remake. Wow, so we've got Maniac at 20 and the Maniac remake at 19. How cool is that? Wow. And the Maniac remake, that's one I really need to rewatch. Because I remember liking it a lot, but it's been many years since I last saw it. And I do remember the soundtrack being good. So, I do need to revisit the Maniac soundtrack. Rob. Just Rob. That's it. Okay, so we got Maniac at number 20 and Maniac at number 19. Interesting. All right. Moving on. Number 18, Videodrome. Okay, our first Cronenberg film. Videodrome, Howard Shore. As seductive as it is deeply, deeply creepy, David Cronenberg's 1983 Videodrome proposed a media-saturated conspiracy in which sinister forces use exploitative television broadcasts as a means of mind control and mass-scale social engineering. Ahead of its time. Ahead of its time. Because that's pretty much what television is now, 100%, especially the news. Anywho, Shore composed moody episodes for a conventional acoustic string orchestra, but also programmed the music into a digital sampling keyboard, then recorded both sources in tandem and mixed them in a manner meant to obscure which was which. Great movie, great music. Yes, long live the new flesh. Indeed. Indeed. Number 17, Christine. John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. Okay. I think we're going to see a lot more of Carpenter on this list. Just guessing. But I think we're going to see some more Carpenter flicks on this list. It is a sad sort of poetic justice that the piece of music which came to best represent Christine, John Carpenter's 1983 adaptation of a bloated Stephen King car murder novel, is George Thorogood's then relatively recent novelty Bad to the Bone. Sad because the score by Carpenter and writing partner Alan Howarth is among the director, composer, synthesizer masterworks. Even amidst such gleaming career highlights as the score for Assault on Precinct 13 or the beyond iconic theme for Halloween, the music of Christine stands out as a magnificent combination of silicon dread and machine emotion. A soundtrack perfectly aligned to the story. As dark and minimal as many of the film's scenes, lots of white, blurred road lines of nighttime drives, the synths haunt these landscapes passively. The main exception being Moochie's theme and Christine Attack, two kick drum heavy bits of cold wave magic that'd make a goth club break out. I love Christine too. Great score. Great music. Christine's, one of Carpenter's movies. It doesn't get the kind of love it deserves, I think. But great score. Great score there too. Great score. All right, moving right along. Number 16. Kwaidan? I am not familiar with this movie. Japanese director Masaki Kobayashi built a resume that included Samurai Stories and The Human Condition, one of the longest fiction films ever made. But with his first color film, Kobayashi pulled from a book of Japanese folktales and created 4 stylized ghost stories that pop with, I don't know what that word is, color, a mesmerizing film that won a special prize at Cannes and even garnered an Academy Award nomination. Wow, okay, I'm going to have to look this. Any fans of Kwaidan? What's up, Drum Smash? I've never heard of this movie before, but I don't think I've heard of it. But I'm going to add it to my watch list, that's for sure. By the way, if you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. It's a crazy good film, Piz. Kwaidan is a dreamscape, nightmare kind of thing. Love it. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to have to add it to my watch list then. Kwaidan is on formerly known as HBO Max, now called Max. Okay. It's an incredible horror anthology. Cool. I have added it to my list. Looking forward to checking it out. All right, number 15. We're cruising right along here. Psycho. Whoa, Psycho is 15? Holy crap, I figured Psycho would be top 5. At least top 10. 15, okay. Ooh. Wow, okay. There is no sound more formative and fundamental to a horror movie scintillation than the screeching strings in the shower scene in Psycho. Composer Bernard Herrmann had logged film credits no less formidable than Citizen Kane and The Day the Earth Stood Still. The Day the Earth Stood Still. But it was his work with Alfred Hitchcock that was the most resounding. Hitchcock had wanted the scene with the murder in the shower to transpire without music. Just Janet Leigh's screams and the sound of water running down the drain. Wow, okay. Can you imagine that scene now? Without the you know? Those strings, forcibly played, seemingly sounding in an alien frequency, have freaked people out ever since. Wow, I can't imagine. Well, I think I don't know. I don't know. I just can't imagine that shower scene without that music. Okay. Number 15 is Psycho. I thought it would be lower on the list, but 15 it is. All right, here we go. Number 14 is The Keep, Tangerine Dream. Okay. All right. All right. I'm glad to see Tangerine Dream again, and I'm glad that The Keep gets some recognition. Visually, The Keep from Neon Noirist. God, I love that. Neon Noirist. Michael Mann. Looks like a circa 1983 heavy metal music video, and its conceit, Nazis occupying Romania wake up some ancient demon only a Jewish scientist can communicate with it, is fascinating. Which is to say, The Keep is something of a confusing mess, and it's up to Tangerine Dream's expanding, stretchy electronica to hold the thing together. Highlights include the mildly minimalistic main theme, the Manuel Gottsching meets Miami Vice dreamscape, and the full vocoder rumbles of Talisman. It's an atypically sensuous score from the propulsive German synth explorers that sells the melodrama of this high-concept horror flick. Whew. I think whoever wrote this stuff had to be like, okay, I'm just going to make this as like tongue twisty as possible. Holy crap. But I love The Keep. I wish that movie would get like a 4K release, like the full, like 3-hour Michael Mann director's cut. Oh, I would love that. And the Tangerine Dream score is just, it's sumptuous. It's just so good. It's just so... Ooh, such a good score. I love that movie. Love that movie so much. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Moving right along. Number 13, Tenebrae. Tenebrae. All right. Here we go. I love Tenebrae. I love the music in Tenebrae. We've got some bangers on this list. This is a good list. Goblin had previously scored Dario Argento's Deep Red and Suspiria, splitting the difference between over-the-top prog and atmospheric instrumentals. But here, 3 Goblin members, Claudio Simonetti, Fabio Pignatelli, and Massimo Marante, deliver dead-eyed Italio disco. It's like earlier Goblin given a Todd... good Lord... Flashing is like a sprawling Lindstrom track smoothed out into just 6 minutes, while Waiting Death offers up a lengthy organ freakout with lots of vocoded hiccups and belches. Fizzy French House Crew Justice sampled the main theme to this Florid Giallo on their tracks Phantom and Phantom 2, ultimately sampled by Swizz Beats on Gucci Mane's Gucci Time. I'm getting exhausted just reading this stuff. Holy crap. But Tenebrae, one of my favorite Argento films, a great score, a good time. Definitely a good time. That's for sure. All right, moving on. Number 12. Phantasm. Okay. All right. We have got some real bangers on here. Nice. From Fred Myrow and Malcolm Seagrave. Both classically trained composers and rock music fans combine their collective influences for a slow, sinister version of prog bombast. Based mostly around that memorable 8-note theme, their battery of organ, piano, mellotron, clavinet, and synths ran the gamut between moody rock, church organ, drone, and noisy atmosphere, where director Don Coscarelli says they were employing almost the entire percussion section to get an array of scrapes and booms. They should have named one of the songs on the soundtrack Tall Man Blood. They really should have. They really should have. But Phantasm, yeah, that theme is just incredible. Great music, great movie. It's Phantasm. Number 11, here we go. The Beyond. More Fabio Frizzi, okay. More Fabio Frizzi, and more Lucio Fulci. Masters of the moody, gore-filled Italian giallo, Lucio Fulci pivoted from westerns and farcical comedies to make some of the grimmest horror films of the 70s and 80s. The Beyond reigns as one of horror's bleakest. The story of a portal to hell creaking open underneath a New Orleans hotel is full of face-melting, eye-gouging gore that's offset by the score of frequent collaborator Fabio Frizzi. Frizzi's dramatic cues teeter on the ludicrous, full of mellotron lines, choirs, and unseen forces. It's a crazy mix of rubbery bass, flutes, and prog orchestral ominousness. But as the film nears its grim end, Frizzi's score also darkens, growing heavy, underlying the inescapable fates of the characters. The distinctive aim of the film's soundtrack was to achieve the old goal of mine, says Frizzi. I wanted to combine two different instrumental forms I'd always loved, the band and the orchestra. When I started writing music some years before, I had learned to combine these two sounds, but for many reasons, the roles of strings and wind instruments were mainly created by keyboards. This time I decided to get serious. Great movie, great score. If you've not seen it or heard it, you should. Glad to see some more Lucio Fulci and Fabio Frizzi representation on this list. We're going into the top 10 here, folks. We're going into the top 10. So what I'm going to do, I need a refill. I'm going to go make that happen. Until then, you guys, I will be right back. So hang in there. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. I am back. Sorry for the delay. Had to get a refill. Had to make a pit stop, but I'm back. All right, so we are at number 10. We're cracking into the top 10 here. This has been a good list. This has been a very good list. How's things going out in the chat? Let me check. How's everything going in the chat? Halloween going to be top 3? We'll see. Suspiria should be on the list. Possibly. Love all these soundtracks. We've had some good ones. We've had some very good soundtracks on this list. That's for sure. Very happy with that. Let's see. Who's with me watching over on Twitch? Is that PlayStation 9 hanging out with us over on Twitch? I think it was. All right, so here we go. Good. All right, we're cracking into the top 10. At number 10, The Shining. The second Stanley Kubrick film. Okay. All right, so this is the second Stanley Kubrick film to make the list. Let's see. Lightning failed to strike twice when electronic music trailblazer Wendy Carlos and her producer and collaborator Rachel Elkind reunited with director Stanley Kubrick after the success of A Clockwork Orange. Most of the music Carlos created, with Elkind credited as co-composer, went unused, apart from the title theme and a second cue, Rocky Mountains. But you hardly can complain about the way Kubrick and music editor Gordon Stainforth cherry-picked maximally queasy passages from works by a clutch of Eastern European mavericks. Okay, I mean, The Shining, great music in The Shining, great movie. Allison says The Shining should be number 1. I do like classic movie, great music. And a lot of people worked on the soundtrack, apparently. So, all right, number 10, The Shining. What say you all? This list is surprisingly pretty good. Yeah, it is. There should be Friday the 13th on the list. Fright Night should be on there. Nope, Poltergeist has not made the list. At least not yet. All right, so let's move on here. Number 9, Rosemary's Baby. Okay. The main theme of Rosemary's Baby would seem to be innocent enough, just some slowly loping strings or harpsichord and lovely la-la-la vocals sung by a young Mia Farrow. However, innocence is not in high supply in director Roman Polanski's breakout hit. The music was scored by, no idea how to say that name, a Polish compatriot of Polanski's who made his name as a progressive mind in Eastern European jazz. Some of that is evident in Rosemary's Baby, including in the lilting saxophone ballad, Making Love in the Apartment, but subtle otherworldliness is the main register as Kameda mixes styles with wild imagination and control. All right, Rosemary's Baby, great movie. Good score. It wouldn't be in my top 10, but fair enough. I'm not mad at it. Number 8, The Omen. Okay, The Omen. I didn't expect to see The Omen in this. Well, I didn't expect to see The Omen this high on the list. Put it that way. Okay. Much of the reputation of Jerry Goldsmith's Academy Award-winning score to this 1976 box office smash can be attributed to its main theme, as well as the Gregorian and choral chants that are this soundtrack's dark backbone. They've become among pop culture's Satanism's all-time greatest hits. Goldsmith, whose Hollywood work spanned 5 decades and included Planet of the Apes, Chinatown, and Alien, among others, penned a handful of Latin phrases that pervert those of the Catholic Mass, gave them to an evil choir, and seated them underneath screeching, tension-filled oh my God. Still the ascending opener of Ave Satani, naturally Hail Satan, and a nominee for Best Song, is the unquestioned centerpiece, wherein the National Philharmonic Orchestra and choir, armed with questionable Latin grammar, used in capital E evil until okay, God, I just reading this is really wearing me out. What's up, Andy Shoemaker? How you doing? I get scared when I hear The Omen mentioned. Ooh. Fantastic soundtrack. What's up, Alabaster? All right, number 8 is The Omen. All right. By the way, cheers to everybody who's hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Cheers to you all. Ooh, it's good. All right, number 7. Nosferatu, the Vampire. The Werner Herzog film. Okay. While director Werner Herzog would later go on to seek out the horror inherent in nature and the human condition, in 1979 he recast F.W. Murnau's expressionistic vampire classic as Nosferatu the Vampire, featuring the manic Klaus Kinski as the rat-toothed blood ghoul. Some of the film's shot are explicit homages to Murnau, but the film score is a distinct break. Known for their serene and elegant album work, Florian Fricke and his Popol Vuh bandmates contribute a most somber and evocative score that works with sinister reeds from Wagner's. For horror soundtrack fans, Nosferatu is atypical. Garlands of acoustic guitar, sitar, and Fricke's piano make for a cyclical, meditative piece that anticipates their move towards new age placidness by the end of the decade. Great movie. Great casting with Klaus Kinski as the vampire. There was, I guess it's an official sequel, unofficial sequel. Was it Vampire in Paris or something like that? I think that's what it's called. I actually like that movie a lot too. But yes, Werner Herzog's Nosferatu the Vampire. I recommend it. Good movie. I really don't. Vampire in Venice. Yes, Bog Zombie. Yes. I like that movie a lot, actually. I don't remember that much of the soundtrack for Nosferatu the Vampire, though. But I do recommend it. Good movie. All right. Number 6. The Thing. Ennio Morricone. I saw some people in the chat asking, where's The Thing gonna fall? There it is, number 6. With his intense 1982 sci-fi flick about researchers in Alaska succumbing to parasitic alien DNA, director John Carpenter broke from the tradition of scoring his own films. To capture the paranoia, the researchers felt he hired one of his heroes to pen the score, king of spaghetti westerns and giallo veteran Ennio Morricone. The main theme, Humanity, Part 1, begins with understated swelling strings and horns playing melodies that swoop upwards, adding to the anxiety. Elsewhere in the score, sweet melodies play against discordant chords, violinists pluck their instruments chaotically, and more than a few progress from sparkly quiet notes into spooky funereal sounds. Morricone, who later won an Oscar for his music for The Hateful Eight by repurposing leftovers from The Thing, told Rolling Stone that Carpenter had played him the film but left before they could discuss it, so he had to figure it out himself. Carpenter has said one thing he did ask for was fewer notes. And it's that minimalism and the slow-moving tension.
Sing it again for us real quick.
Summer breeze, aging to know, just oh.
Pretty good.
Thank you, Parker Allen, for the $1.99. Happy Sunday to you too, sir. Cheers. And it's that minimalism and slow-moving tension that made both the soundtrack and its effect on the film masterful. Great movie, great music. The Thing, I mean, come on. We're getting into the top 5. So, okay. So let's make some predictions here. Jaws has got to be in the top 5. Halloween has got to be in the top 5. I'm betting the Nightmare on Elm Street score is going to be somewhere in the top 5. That's 3. What could the other 2 be? What about Suspiria? Suspiria could be up there. Oh, The Exorcist. Yes, The Exorcist has got to be on there somewhere. Got to be. Okay. So without doubt, The Exorcist is going to be there. Jaws is going to be there. Halloween is going to be there. Friday the 13th. Yes, it should be there. Surf 2 also should definitely be there. Yes, Ben. Yes. So my top 5 predictions: Jaws, The Exorcist, Friday the 13th, Halloween, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. So let's see where those fall. Number 5 is Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust. Oh, wow. I did not expect to see Cannibal Holocaust on this list. I definitely did not expect to see it anywhere near the top 5. Holy crap. Cannibal Holocaust. Whoa. Wow. Okay. The dreamy, lazily romantic orchestral swoon of Italian composer Riz Ortolani plays in sharp contrast to the ludicrously bloody Cannibal Holocaust, a film that made waves for its found footage look in the pre-Cloverfield 80s. It wasn't the first time Ortolani's used the trick. Director Ruggio Deodato loved how his songs anchored the Mondo shock docs of the 60s. But Cannibal Holocaust's merciless gore mistaken by Italian authorities thought Cannibal Holocaust was real. They thought that the people in a Cannibal Holocaust really died. They thought it was a snuff movie. To the point where Deodato was held by the authorities. And he was going to be tried for murder unless the actors in the film showed themselves. And he did not want the actors to show themselves. He wanted people to believe that it was real, to the point where he could have been convicted of murder. That is conviction. I can appreciate that. There's also no shortage of porno funk, sinister synth pulses, and errant pounding here, but the bittersweet beauty of orchestral swells and acoustic guitar remain the most iconic part. The soundtrack to Cannibal Holocaust almost surpasses the film itself, says Deodato, in the liner notes of the Death Waltz one-way static reissue. Many of my fans tell me that they were engaged or married to the music Ortolani created. good music, I would not want to be married to. I mean, can you imagine? So what was your marriage song? The Cannibal Holocaust soundtrack. I mean, it doesn't get more romantic than Cannibal Holocaust. Cheers to whoever out there got married to the Cannibal Holocaust score. Cheers. Oh, Lord have mercy. A porno funk. I know. Wow. Okay. So one of those that were in my top 5 is not going to be there. So Jaws, Halloween, Friday the 3rd. Well, Halloween's definitely going to be there. Jaws is definitely going to be there. Friday the 13th should be there. Exorcist will definitely be there. And Nightmare on Elm Street should be there. But one of those movies is not going to be in the top 5. One of those movies is not going to make the list, period. That's shocking to me. Halloween's going to be on the list. We know that. But what are the other 4 going to be? Wow. Wow. All right. Number 4. Suspiria. Okay. I love Suspiria. I love the score to Suspiria. But okay, so wow. We know Halloween's going to be on the list. There's no doubt about it. We know The Exorcist is going to be on the list. There's no doubt about it. And we know Jaws is going to be on the list. So Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street didn't even make the list. That's what I'm saying. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street did not make the list. The top 3 will be Jaws, The Exorcist, and Halloween. There's no doubt about it. So Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street didn't even make the list. Wow. All right. Before filmmaker Dario Argento began his work on Suspiria, his nightmarish and gory 1977 portrayal of a dance school that is hiding a sinister secret, he needed music that would set the mood. He'd previously worked with Italian prog rockers on Profondo Rosso, so he read them his Suspiria script and gave them 3 months to write a soundtrack that would make the film's witchy theme linger with audiences and could be utilized on set to establish the tone of the film. They experimented with instruments atypical of soundtracks at the time, tabla, bouzouki, Moog synthesizer, and came up with the movie's iconic chilling music box-like main theme, as well as the tense exercises in rhythm, dissonance, and bizarre, funky prog, before ending the original LP with its creepy death valzer. Over the years, the music has become horror canon and would give horror soundtrack reissue death reissue label Death Waltz its name. Wow. Scream's not going to make the list. There's no way. Scream's not making the list. No way. All right. So, Jaws, Halloween, and The Exorcist. And I'm about to lose my voice. So, let's just move on. Number 3, Candyman. I love Candyman, and I love the score to Candyman. But, I mean, the Philip Glass music for Candyman's incredible. I love it. I love it to death, but wow. Whoa. Okay, so, holy crap. Wow. All right, so... Jaws is not going to make the list. Okay, so we've got two left. We know Halloween is one of them, right? Halloween's got to be one of them. It's either Exorcist or Jaws, the other two. But I mean, how could you leave either of those off the list? I mean, I can understand people saying, well, Jaws isn't horror, but I mean, we've had some, I mean, A Clockwork Orange isn't horror either, you know? I'm stunned. Okay. Music by classical composer Philip Glass has been used in so many movies and ripped off in so many more. And it's surprising Candyman and the franchise it spawned has been his only serious brush with contemporary horror. Surprising that is, because his trademark hypnotic repetitions and remorseless momentum feel especially well suited to a genre that thrives on chases, wrong turns, and traps. Glass, it's reported in the liner notes to the Candyman CD that inaugurated his own Orange Mountain music label, was disappointed by the film. What he presumed would be an artful version of Clive Barker's short story The Forbidden had ended up, in his view, a low-budget slasher. Still, there's no question his score, an unusually creepy mix of huffy organ, choral chanting, wistful piano, and chilly glockenspiel, is potent and appropriate. And with characteristic pragmatism, Glass concedes even now in interviews that having scored Candyman continues to yield fiscal benefits. Yeah. So he did not like Candyman? Piaz, I don't think the Exorcist music was composed for the movie. Thank you. Oh, well, you're right. You're right, Nico. You're right. Tubular Bells was... You're right. You're right. So Exorcist is not going to be on the list. So that leaves us with Jaws and Halloween, which means Nightmare on Elm Street did not make the list. All right. I love Candyman. I love the score. I did not know that Philip Glass was not a fan of the movie. But, all right. Oh, top two. Here we go. I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. All right. Top two. Here we go. Halloween 3? Halloween 3? Okay, Halloween 3, number 2. I mean, great. I love the music. I love the movie. So is Halloween 3 and then Halloween going to be 2 and 1? And then that would leave Jaws off the list. All right. You can trace synthesizer sophistication in the early 80s by how John Carpenter and Alan Howarth's Halloween themes changed with each sequel. For 1981's Halloween 2, the iconic theme got baroque with a little bit more synth pop, and for 1982's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the theme is a screwed smear of dread that doesn't even touch on the original's famous melody. It's fitting for an installment that doesn't feature Michael Myers and was originally penned by a sci-fi fatalist, Nigel Neal. involving Celtic rituals, Stonehenge, and space. Other tracks similarly reimagine Carpenter and Howard's sparse-style rushes of electronic noise on Starker and Marge, metal-on-metal murmuring on Robots at the Factory, and ambient burps. Ambient burps. How can a burp be ambient? I don't understand that. On the Rock and the familiar Halloween melody